A young Meyer Lansky watches his first illegal poker game, intrigued by the numbers at play. Meyer approaches the poker table, asking the dealer how the game works. The dealer smirks, explaining the odds and how to spot a bluff. Meyer takes notes in a small notebook, calculating probabilities in his head. Years later, Meyer meets Bugsy Siegel in a dimly lit alley, discussing a potential partnership. Bugsy smirks, lighting a cigarette, and agrees to Meyer's proposal. The two shake hands, sealing their alliance with a shared grin. Meyer and Bugsy walk into a speakeasy, scanning the room for potential recruits. A bartender nods at them, signalling the location of a backroom meeting. In the back room, Meyer presents a plan to smuggle alcohol during Prohibition. The group of men around the table exchange skeptical glances. Bugsy slams his fist on the table, demanding loyalty from the group. Meyer calmly explains the financial benefits, winning over the room. Later, Meyer meets Arnold Rothstein at a high-stakes poker game. Arnold observes Meyer's calculations and offers him a seat at the table. He slides an envelope across the table, offering a generous bribe. Meyer wins a hand, impressing Arnold with his strategic mind. Arnold leans in, whispering an offer to teach Meyer the art of money laundering. Meyer accepts, following Arnold out of the room with a determined look. Arnold shows Meyer a legitimate-looking front business, explaining how it hides illegal profits. Meyer nods, taking mental notes as Arnold outlines the process. Back at their hideout, Meyer explains Arnold's system to Bugsy. Bugsy laughs, calling it genius, and suggests expanding their operations. Meyer and Bugsy recruit more men, assigning them roles in their growing empire. A new recruit nervously asks Meyer how to handle the police. Meyer calmly explains the importance of bribes and connections. Bugsy trains the recruits in hand-to-hand combat, emphasizing loyalty. Later, Meyer meets with a corrupt police officer in a secluded park. The officer accepts a wad of cash, promising to turn a blind eye to their operations. Meyer walks away satisfied as the officer counts the money. Back at their headquarters, Meyer and Bugsy celebrate their first major success. Bugsy pours drinks, toasting to their future as kings of the underworld. Meyer raises his glass, a rare smile crossing his face. The next morning, Meyer reviews their finances, noticing discrepancies. He confronts one of their accountants, demanding an explanation. The accountant stammers, admitting to skimming off the top. Meyer calmly fires him, warning the others not to make the same mistake. Bugsy bursts in, announcing a rival gang is moving in on their territory. Meyer grabs his coat, preparing to handle the situation personally. The two men drive to the rival gang's hideout, armed and ready for a confrontation. Meyer steps out of the car, approaching the rival leader with a cold stare. Meyer demands the rival gang leader back off their territory, his voice calm but firm. The rival leader laughs, mocking Meyer's small stature and quiet demeanor. Bugsy steps forward, cracking his knuckles, ready to defend Meyer's honor. Meyer raises a hand, stopping Bugsy, and pulls out a wad of cash instead. He offers the rival leader a cut of their profits in exchange for peace. The rival leader hesitates, then accepts the money with a nod. Bugsy glares as the rival gang leaves, questioning Meyer's decision. Meyer explains that violence is a last resort, money solves most problems. Later, Meyer meets with a powerful politician at an upscale restaurant. The politician agrees to protect their operations in exchange for campaign donations. Meyer shakes the politician's hand, knowing this alliance will secure their future. Back at their headquarters, Meyer and Bugsy discuss expanding into gambling. Bugsy suggests building a casino in Las Vegas, calling it the future of entertainment. Meyer considers the idea, calculating the risks and potential profits. He agrees, but only if they can secure funding and political protection. Months later, Meyer visits a construction site in the desert, overseeing the casino's progress. A foreman explains the delays, blaming the harsh desert conditions. Meyer calmly instructs him to hire more workers and double the shifts. He pitches the casino as a surefire way to make millions. An investor hesitates, questioning the legality of their operations. Back in New York, Meyer receives a call about a federal investigation into their activities. Bugsy returns, furious about the investigation, and suggests bribing the investigators. The next day, Meyer meets with a high-ranking FBI agent in a quiet diner. He slides an envelope across the table, offering a generous bribe. The FBI agent hesitates, but ultimately takes the envelope, promising to back off. Meyer leaves the diner, confident that their empire is safe for now. Back in Las Vegas, the casino nears completion, its neon lights shining brightly. Meyer watches from a distance, already planning their next move. The casino opens to huge crowds, with celebrities and politicians in attendance. Bugsy greets guests at the door, reveling in the spotlight. Meyer stays in the background, monitoring the finances and security. A reporter approaches Meyer, asking for an interview about his success. Meyer declines politely, citing his preference for privacy. Later, Meyer discovers that Bugsy has been skimming money from the casino's profits. He confronts Bugsy in a private office, his voice cold and disappointed. Bugsy denies it at first, but eventually admits to taking the money. Bugsy storms out, furious and feeling betrayed by Meyer's lack of trust. Meyer sits alone, contemplating the future of their partnership. Days later, Bugsy is found dead in his home, the victim of a hit. Meyer receives the news, his face unreadable as he processes the loss. Meyer warns him that betrayal will not be tolerated, no matter their history. After the funeral, Meyer returns to work, determined to keep their empire intact. Meyer sits in his office, reviewing the casino's finances with a stoic expression. An associate enters, informing Meyer that rival gangs are eyeing their territory. Meyer nods, instructing the associate to tighten security and monitor their movements. Later, Meyer meets with his remaining inner circle, outlining a plan to consolidate power. He attends Bugsy's funeral, standing silently among the mourners. He emphasizes the importance of loyalty, warning them of the consequences of betrayal. The men nod in agreement, their respect for Meyer evident in their silence. Meanwhile, a rival gang leader holds a meeting, plotting to take over Meyer's operations. He boasts about Bugsy's death, claiming it's a sign of Meyer's weakness. Back in Las Vegas, Meyer receives a tip about the rival gang's plans. He calmly instructs his men to prepare for a confrontation, but to avoid unnecessary violence. Meyer visits a local police station, handing over a donation to the chief. The police chief thanks him, promising to keep an eye on the rival gang's activities. That night, Meyer's men intercept a shipment of weapons meant for the rival gang. The rival leader is furious, vowing revenge against Meyer. Meyer receives word of the rival leader's threats, but remains unfazed. He meets with a hitman in a secluded alley, giving him a name and a target. The hitman nods, disappearing into the shadows without a word. Days later, the rival leader is found dead, his body left as a warning to others. Meyer reads about the death in the newspaper, his expression unreadable. He attends a business meeting discussing plans to expand their operations internationally. An investor questions the risks, but Meyer assures him the rewards will be worth it. Later, Meyer meets with a European crime boss in a luxurious hotel suite. The two discuss a partnership, shaking hands over a bottle of expensive champagne. Back in the US, Meyer's empire grows stronger, with new fronts and alliances. He visits his family, spending a rare quiet evening with his wife and children. His wife asks if he's ever worried about the dangers of his lifestyle. Meyer reassures her, promising to always protect them no matter what. The next morning, Meyer receives a call about a federal task force targeting organized crime. He gathers his advisors, instructing them to lay low and avoid drawing attention. Despite his precautions, Meyer is subpoenaed to testify before a Senate committee. He sits in the hearing room, calmly answering questions without revealing anything. The senators grow frustrated, but Meyer's composure never wavers. Meyer warns them that the government won't stop coming and they must be prepared. He sits alone in his office, reflecting on the rise and fall of his criminal empire. A young associate enters, asking for advice on how to navigate the changing landscape. Meyer tells him to adapt or perish, emphasizing the importance of staying ahead. Meyer visits Bugsy's grave, placing a single rose on the headstone. He whispers a quiet apology, his voice tinged with regret. He spends his days reading and playing chess, his sharp mind still active. One evening, Meyer sits on his porch watching the sunset over the ocean. A reporter approaches, asking for one final interview about his life. Meyer declines, saying he prefers to let the past stay in the past. The reporter leaves, and Meyer closes his eyes, a small smile on his face.